everyone. This is the day 4 of the 10-day course of free CNC programming. Now the instructor will take on from here. Thank you. Sir, please carry on. Sir.
Right, thank you. So, good evening, everybody. So, yesterday we have been discussing about specifying the coordinates of the lines in absolute coordinate system and incremental coordinate system. And we have been using a Cartesian coordinate system and this one, polar coordinate system. So, here, before writing any program, we have to just list out the coordinates of all the transition points on a pen on a paper, and just we have to use the G codes and M codes as and when they are necessary, and specify the coordinates in a sequence as it has been they have been written in an order. Okay, so before doing any program, we have to summarize the coordinates of all the points, right from start point to the first point, second point, third point, like that. So until the last point of the geometry has been reached, then only it will be convenient for us to write the program without committing any mistakes. And we have to continue the same method until we have a good practice of editing the programs. So coming to the codes.
Sir, just a minute, sir. 1 minute.
Yes.
Okay, sir, you can start the class. Sir. Thank you.
Okay, right. So, we will continue with the interpretation of G codes, and the first code that comes here is G00 or G00. In this, G00 code is used for rapid traverse movements. That means, if the let us assume that the spindle is at some place within the strokes of the machine. Suppose if you wanted to bring the spindle face and spindle axis to some coordinate like 100, x100, y minus 100, and z minus 100. So we give the command as G00, x minus 100, y minus 100, x plus 100, y minus 100, and z minus 100. So the spindle travels from the existing place to the coordinate specified by us in a shortcut. That means it comes straightly in a straight line to the destination point. Okay? In that, before giving G00 command, we should ensure that the tool movements or the spindle movements are not hindered or by the workpiece or cutting tool or anything. If any obstructions are there in its path, it will simply come and collide with it and accident takes place. Before giving the command, we should verify practically on the machine with the entire setup readily done, so that all the movements are done safe without any collisions. Okay? So, and rapid traverse movements are represented by dotted lines in the diagrams. Of course, I would have not been using dotted lines here because due to some inconvenience, I did not draw the figures like that. But in engineering drawings, dotted lines represent rapid traverse movement, especially in the catalogs of the machines, machine catalogs or machine operators guides. Okay. So the next one is G01. G01 stands for linear interpolation. That means if you wanted to carry out cutting operation in a straight line, then we will be using G01. For example, let us assume that the spindle center is at origin, workpiece origin, 0, 0. And from there, you wanted to cut the material in 45 degrees up to a length of 100 mm. That means length of the line is 100 mm, and the angle between the action of cut and the positive x-axis is 45 degrees. So what happens? X coordinate will be 100 and y coordinate also will be 100. So we give the code as G01, x 100, y 100, feed 40 or 50, whatever feed is appropriate to it. Here, whenever G01 command is given, whenever cutting action is executed, we have to specify feed movement, feed input. Otherwise, the machine goes in a rapid motion. Again, the cutter will be getting damaged or the workpiece. So, if we do not specify the feed at the end of the line during linear interpolation, the spindle, the cutting action of the tool will be taking place in rapid motion, and it results in very undesired effect of the workpiece or the tool or the machine itself. So next comes G02. G02 stands for clockwise circular interpolation. Here, whether it is G02 or G01 or G0 or G03, whichever code it is, the x value and y value are the coordinate values of end point of the geometric segment, whether it is line or an arc. That means whatever the end point of the previous geometric segment will be the start point of the present geometric segment. Or if you are carrying out cutting action in a straight line from a particular point, that means the spindle has already been reached to the present point. From here, you will be carrying out the cutting action to the destination point. That means the start point is the existing point, and the end point would have to be specified by us in x and y. Okay. In case of rapid motion, Z also is there. For Z also, you have to specify the destination values of x, y, and z. Whereas in G02, x and y, whether it is G01, G02, or G03, x and y represent the xy coordinates of destination point. And the remaining two are I and J. I is called a circular interpolation parameter along x-axis, and J represents the circular interpolation parameter along y-axis. As I have given these details of I and J in the below three lines. Just go through that. In the commands G01, G02, and G03, the x and y values of the endpoints must be input, and the circular arcs require 3 points for defining them. Okay, they are center point, start point, and end point. Center point has been represented by CP for our convenience. Similarly, start point by SP, and the end point by EP. So, as I have told you, I represents the circular interpolation parameter along x-axis, and its value is given by center point x coordinate minus start point x coordinate. Similarly, J value is given by center point y coordinate minus start point y coordinate. In case of using Z or J, see the third one, that should be K. I, J, and K. I have to get it corrected. I shall correct it. So center point x coordinate minus start point center point z coordinate minus start point z coordinate will give you the value of K. But in most of the programs, we will be coming across I and J. Generally, we don't have to go for K because most of the programs will be covered in XY plane itself. Just by rotating the pallet by 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees, you can just change the face of the workpiece and carry out the operations in XY plane itself. Okay, so the format for G02 and G03 are X dash, Y dash, I dash, and J dash. Let us just confine our discussion only to XY plane. Just forget about ZX and YZ planes. We We will not be needing them for most of our service. Okay. So the value of I, j, and k may be positive or negative. That means by subtracting this start point from center point, the resulting value can be positive or negative. Just don't worry about that. If you get a negative value, you have to show minus and the answer that you get it. And the fourth command is G04. G04 X dash. X represents the number of seconds by which the spindle is allowed to rotate. Okay. Suppose if you give G04 X4 and the spindle is rotating at 600 RPM, what happens? 600 RPM means for every minute it will be rotating by 600 revolutions. That means for each second it will be rotating by 10 revolutions, 10 rotations. So for 4 seconds it will be rotating by 40 seconds. So the spindle is instructed to rotate by 40 rotations and then come to a stop. And this particular command is used to improve the finish at the bottom faces of the blind bores, like counter bores or bores with high precision, and wherever the bottom face of the bore is required to be perpendicular to the axis of the bore within 10 microns or 20 microns. In such applications, we will be using G04. Okay? Just to go through the slides. So, if you have anything to ask at the end of this class, I can clarify. Let us just go to the next slide. And then here in the second slide, I am showing you G10 and G11. These are data setting mode on and data setting mode cancel. This G10 and G11 are used for specifying certain reference points or tool offsets and work offsets and parameters of that kind. Generally, we don't have to just, we will not be needing to use G10 and G11. Once you are familiar with entering the work offset and tool offset in the registers and refer to them whenever you do any part program, that will be enough for us. Okay. So the next command is G15, cancellation of polar coordinate system. See, as I have said earlier, whenever you need polar coordinate system, you have to activate it because the default coordinate system in the machine will be Cartesian coordinate system. But if you need polar coordinate system, you have to activate the polar coordinate system by command G16. And once our work is finished with the polar coordinate system, we have to put it off. Otherwise, the memory of the machine remains in polar coordinate system only. And just forgetting that like that, and if you tomorrow, if you come and put on the machine and start operating it, it will be referring to polar coordinate system itself, not Cartesian. So you will be getting confused with what happened with the machine, and if there is any mistake somewhere or like that, we will be misled by ourselves. So whenever you need any polar coordinate system, you have to activate it by G16. And as soon as our work in polar coordinate system has been finished, then you have to give the command G15 also at the end of the program. So next command is G17. G17 stands for selection of XY plane. That means if you wanted to carry out cutting action or machining activity in XY plane, you will be going for G17. And mostly for major part of our manufacturing sequences, we will be going to XY plane itself. That is the first default plane that we will be using in practice. Okay. If at all there are some facilities available in the machine such that wheelhead can be rotated by 90 degrees and carry out the machining in ZX plane, then if you wanted to carry out machining activity in ZX plane, then you have to give G18. Similarly, G19 is used for YZ plane. Here, when you use XY plane, as the plane indicates, the position of any point will be given by x coordinate and y coordinate. So the third one is Z. Z stands for the depth of cut. Okay. Similarly, in ZX plane, Y stands for depth of cut, and in YZ plane, X stands for depth of cut. And during this course, we'll be referring to XY plane itself. Forget about the remaining two planes. Once you are familiar with using XY plane, automatically you can write the coordinates in ZX and YZ planes. Accordingly, you have to summarize the coordinates, and then you can do the part program by yourself. But the first thing is you have to become perfect in XY plane only. Okay. And the next two commands are G20 and G21. See, as we generally come across two systems of dimensioning in engineering industries, and they are metric system and British system. Here, mostly we will be coming across dimensions in millimeters. So in that case, you have to set the coordinate system in G20 in the machine by giving command G20. Once you specify G20 at the beginning of the program, the machine understands that whatever numerics or numerals you are entering, they are all millimeters. Okay. So if you do not give G20 and there are already existing in the machine, it will not be a problem for us. But if somebody uses inches system in the previous operation of the machine, then assuming that we are giving the metric inputs, if we give the reading, and the system, the spindle center will go somewhere else. So in order to confirm that we are not committing any mistake, it is better to give all the default conditions that we assume in the beginning of the program. And I shall show you that in the part programs also. So whenever you require inches input, then you have to go for G21. If you give G21, G20 gets cancelled by itself. Similarly, if you specify G20 at the beginning of the program, G21 gets cancelled. Okay? So, next slide. Here, it is G28 and G29. Return to the reference point and return from the reference point. Here, you are having only one reference point right now in the programs, and it is home position of the machining center. That is machine origin, or X0, Y0 and Z0. If at all you wanted to take the spindle from existing point to the reference point, we give a command like G0, G91, G28, X0, Y0, Z0. That's all. Automatically the spindle will go from the existing coordinate to the reference point on the home position of the machine. And if you wanted to bring it back to the previous position, again you have to give G0, G91, G29, X0, Y0, Z0. Automatically it will come back to the previous position. That's all. And G30, generally you will not be coming across the G30 command in machining centers. And there are some other interpretations given for G30 in CNC lathes. So just let us not bother about that now. G31, skip function, which is affected by the slash. Actually, it is a backslash. So for suppose you have around 1,200 lines of part program, and you are using all the NC blocks during cutting action, and you have started the program today. You have used a few lines, and tomorrow when you put on the machine, you don't have to use a few lines. So what we will do, we have to insert a backslash at the beginning of the program, which are not needed by us, and put on the switch for skip function. There will be one toggle switch on the machine. If you put it on and give a command G31 at that junction, automatically all the lines which are started which are starting with backslash will be skipped, and the program jumps over to the line which doesn't have a backslash. Skip means jump. So G31 command is used for jumping the unwanted lines of the part program. That's all. Okay. So the next command is G40. G40 is used for cancellation of tool radius compensation. Here we have to keep one thing in mind before starting the machining activity. It is, let us assume that we have already mounted the workpiece on the table. It is clamped and you have inserted the tool and you have given the RPM command and started bringing the spindle towards the workpiece. But here what we generally do, we will be bringing the spindle nearer to the workpiece but not directly onto the workpiece. Because if you directly bring the tool onto the workpiece, it will just collide with it. Because manual movements are not that much smoother and uniform as compared to the programmed movements of the cutting tool. So what we do, we will be maintaining a gap of 5 mm or 3 mm or some air gap, such that the rotating tool will not be colliding with the workpiece or the setup. So what we do, we will be bringing the rotating tool nearer to the workpiece, and then we will start either linear interpolation or circular interpolation as per the part program, and with feed movements. All these machining activities will be executed in feed movements. Okay, so that means when you bring the cutting tool nearer to the workpiece, theoretically half of the diameter of the cutter, let us say that we are using 100 mm cutter, that means half of that is 50 mm. That means the spindle center must be 50 mm away from the workpiece, and then the feed movement should be affected. So this 50 mm is called cutter compensation, tool radius compensation. Okay, tool radius compensation. And when I start explaining the part programs, you will be coming to a good understanding of what is it. So G41 stands for left hand tool radius compensation, and the format for that is G41 D12. D12 stands for the diameter of the tool 12, T12. That means the value of D12 is entered in the geometry D of tool number 12. That's all. Similarly, G42, right hand tool radius compensation, and that is G42 D15. That means when the tool is traveling from left to right, okay, with reference to the direction of tool travel, if the cutter shifts towards its right side, then we represent that compensation by G42. Suppose if the tool shifts towards left side with reference to its direction of travel, then it is represented by G41 D12. I shall show you that in a figure in the next part program. Okay. So next is G43. As we have already discussed about tool offset registers, in those tool offset registers, we are having two different values. They are length compensation, H, geometry H, and tool radius or diameter, which is given by geometry D. So as soon as the cutting tool is brought into the work area, the length of the tool and diameter of the tool are considered by the PMC, Programmable Machine Controller, so that no accident will take place, and accordingly the movements are executed. But for executing all these movements in rapid motion or carrying out the cutting activity, all such instructions would have to be given by us.